everyone. So today I thought I'd show you how I do my decoupage. Decoupage seems to be one of those techniques that seem to come and go in fashion quite a lot. Sometimes you'll see a lot of it and sometimes it's very rarely done. I'm using the Paper Craft Society box number 33 by Lisa Horton. I'm using the stamp set that comes within the kit. I'm going to be using the Peony. I've already cut and coloured quite a few bits. I'm also going to be using the Detailed Gold Opaque Embossing Powder by Stupendous, and that's a really old-fashioned gold colour. So if I take in my stamping platform, I've already got some stamps on here. What I've done with the flower stamp is I've actually masked off the leaves because I actually want the head. I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap card. You can see I've been using this. I'm going to take my anti-static bag about there. That's perfect. So I'm going to be using Versamark. This is a clear ink pad that you use for your embossing powder. I'm going to give those stamps a really good stamp up with the ink. I'm going to bring that back over and we're just going to stamp those two at the top and this big flower head at the bottom. They look absolutely fine to me. I'm going to bring in a piece of copy paper. I'm going to take my embossing powder and from the top I am going to just sprinkle some over. I'm going to give that a good tap off, and then I like to go the other way as well. So from the top, turning your paper the other way, and that way you know you're getting all the little edges. Pop your embossing powder straight back in the jar. And we can pop that to one side. Easy now, we're going to take our heat gun. And we're just going to heat these up until the embossing powder melts. And there we go. I'm going to colour these in using the Spectrum Noir Tri-Blend markers. These actually come with the dark tone, mid-tone and light tone, so it actually makes it really easy for colouring in. And I'm going to use the pink. So starting with the darkest end, and these are nib ends, I'm just going to colour in, and I'm basically not worrying about anything other than getting some ink down. You'll notice I'm only going just over halfway up of the petals, and then I'm going to go in with my mid-tone and I'm going to pull out. And I'm not going to go right to the edge because that's where I want my light tones to be. So this is really fast colouring. Then I'm going to go in with my light and I'm going to go all the way around the edges with my light tone. So that was the dark tone. Now we're going to take the mid-tone and we're going to go over the dark tone and pull out. And then when we go in with our lightest tip, going slightly over what you've just done and drag that out. And when that fuses together in about 5-10 minutes time, that's going to look completely different. So again, with these petals, we're going to go in with our dark about halfway, going to go around the centre. Like so. We're going to come in with our mid-tone. We're going to go over the dark tone slightly, and we're going to drag this out. And then we're going to go in with our light tone, and we're going to do exactly the same over the mid-tone, slightly over, and dragging it out to the end. And that's really all there is to it. So using the burnt orange, you've got the dark, the mid and the light again. I'm going to use the mid-tone to do my centre. And then I'm going to use the dark tone, and I'm just going to put some dots. So with my biggest flower, we're going to use the mid-tone and dark tone. We're going to pop some dots. There we go. Now all we need to do is cut these out. And what we're going to do now is some decoupaging. So we're going to move all these bits out of the way. I'm going to take in one of the purple peonies, and you'll see that the design actually matches the design within the first one. So if you pop this here and then pop a smaller one over the top, you get that really nice 3D effect. So I'm going to take some foam pads. I'm actually going to cut some of these down. We'll pop one there and one just there, and line this one up just there. So there's one for the middle and a tiny one just there. And we're going to pop this one over the top just there. So now what you've got is a really beautiful 3D peony. So I'm going to do the rest and I'll come straight back. So here's my 3 peonies all decoupaged up. You can see the lovely depth that you get with them. So I've got 2 purple and 1 pink. So I'm going to bring in the cardstock that I chose. This is going to be a 5x7, just regular little fold opening card. I've cut myself a white base layer, which is 4.5 by 6.5 card there, and then I've cut myself a matte layer in this beautiful pink effect that came in the kit, and this one is 4.25 by 6.25, and this one is going to go on the front there. I've also cut myself a piece of white, which is 4.25 by 1.75. This is going to go across the middle, and then another piece 1.5 by 4, and this is going to go across here, and then we'll have a sentiment on there. Glue this layer onto the white matte layer, and then we'll raise the matte white layer with some foam tape. So getting a nice even border all around the edge. Give that a nice rub down. And then I'm going to pop this up with some foam tape. Okay, so just run in a strip of your foam tape all around the edges. Tiny bit that side, a tiny bit this side. There we go, let's move that out of the way. Give that a good burnish down. Get rid of any air bubbles. And see, to me, using a pokey tool is alien. I just like to get in there with my nails, pop off this backing. Pop that in the bin. And we're going to raise this off of our base card. So we're going to try and get this as even as possible. All around the edge. Give that a nice press down. There we go. And we're going to do exactly the same with the sentiment. I'm going to pop this down first so that I know where to pop my peonies. So again, a nice even border, as even as possible. And this one is going to go in the centre there. So this time with foam tape again. So pop a piece of foam tape on that edge and a tiny bit in the middle. Give this a nice press down. I'm removing the backing. I'm going to go roughly centre, might come down slightly, and just give that a press down. I'm just going to take some foam pads, pop a few on there, take the backings off. Yeah, so we're going to put that first one there. With this one, I want this one to go like this, so we're going to have to pop some pads on the back of this one. I say underneath, yeah, roughly round about there. So that's the top two, and then we're going to do exactly the same with this bottom one. So this is where we are with this one at the moment. I'm going to have a little sentiment here and maybe some bling. So for the sentiment, I've chosen from the Marianne Designs, We Wish You a Happy Birthday. In my Versamark again, we're going to stamp this one up. I'm going to have a go at doing this one freehand. If I get it right the first time, it'll be a miracle. Just need to give this a rub with my anti-static cloth. turn that the right way up. And we're going to stamp this right here. Wish you a happy birthday. We can see how that looks. If not, we'll have to do it in a black ink, which I didn't really want to do, but no, I think that's going to be okay actually. So again, doing this more than one way. We wish you a happy birthday. I think that's going to look okay once that's melted. Pop our embossing powder back in, put the lid on straight away, and we're going to heat this up with the heat gun so noise come in. There we go. That's actually beautiful. That's done that really nice. I'm gonna fussy cut this out, so hoping we get it right the first time. And that is going to pop right there. So I'm going to glue this one down. So straight down on the card, making sure that's nice and straight, which I think it is. So taking out my gems, which I got from Craft. I think I'd like to use the darker ones on this card. So I am going to get my pokey tool. Three. So there's 1, 2, 3. Don't want it in line. 4. I'm going to have this one right up in the corner. 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that actually looks very pretty. We could pop another one just in the centre there. So that's 6. And for some unknown reason, we're all taught to go with an odd number. I don't know why. So, shall we... Oh, actually, I think that looks quite nice there. So there we go. There's our decoupaged card. Hope you've enjoyed watching this video. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. Maybe subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. But thank you for watching. Until the next time. Bye bye.